Hey there, Chuck. Been meaning to get to you this week and get back to you on your last response to me, and I just really wanted to carefully think through my next installment, I guess, in this series, because I can see now that you and I have reached a point where we understand one another. At least you can see that I believe that I'm serving a God that shows unconditional love, whether you agree with me or not. I think you see that I believe that. So I think at this point you and I have figured out that we just define our terms a little bit differently. You know, you say God's love's conditional because He expects something of us. He puts demands on us, and I say His love's unconditional, and give you the example of how you and I as fathers put demands on our children, even though we love them unconditionally. So there's been a lot of back and forth, and then it got into the whole hell issue, which is a big issue. I don't always feel like I'm the best equipped person to discuss it with people that are confused about it. But the best analogy I could come up with was the one in the Sin Addict video, and hopefully you at least kind of get my point of view there. What I'd like to do, instead of arguing or trying to illustrate my point any further with a better analogy, is to play the what-if game. The what-if game is something a lot of times we do, when we're talking to someone that doesn't agree with us. You stop for a second and you say, well, what if they're right and I'm wrong? And what if I'm right and they're wrong? It requires both parties make an exception to what they know or what they believe. And you're not the only person that talks about God having some sort of shortcoming, or you feel like His rules or somehow or another He disappoints you, at least through the eyes of the Christian theology. He disappoints you. And a lot of times we Christians try to argue back and say, well, you just don't understand Him the way I do, and look at this and look at that. But I wonder if we could play a what-if game for a second. I know God is not some tantrum-throwing Gotti in the sky, as Phil Hellens puts it. And I know that He has unconditional love. But I'm going to play what-if and say, what if I'm wrong? What if God is everything you fear Him to be? He's got conditions on His love. He's got this place called hell where He wants to just torment and torture you for not coming to Him. He throws fits and tantrums in the sky. What if all of that is true? What do you do then? Do you, out of your sense of justice and all that you are and all that you stand for, stand up against this God and just allow yourself to be tortured in this place? Do you at some point say, you know what, He's all powerful and I'm just this little being, and whether I like it or not, those are His rules, and I need to somehow win favor with this guy? I ask not to be condescending or trite, or I'm just curious, actually. Where is the line between humility and pride? I ask that of myself even. At what point do we forget about ourselves, our pride, our agenda, our sense of justice, and humble ourselves and present ourselves to this being, this God that is more powerful than us? Whether we like it or not, that day is coming, and even if you could prove to me that He's all these things that you're fearful that He is, I still think we need to get right with him. You know, that's just my 2 cents. This is the what if game. I'm actually very interested in your response.